Hi Latinos in Clinical Research. This is a really special impromptu episode. Don't worry, you didn't miss out on any Zoom meetings. This one was a clinical scoop interview that actually transitioned into Latinos in Clinical Research, and we're recording mid-conversation here, but we brought on, thanks to Monica, financial advisor and CPA Eddie. And Eddie, his link is going to be below, as well as his phone number, and his email is in the video as well. We talk about medical professionals and all the tax and financial aspects of it. And again, we cut off the beginning, but in the beginning we basically talk about physicians and how physicians, are generally not good business people, and how he works with a lot of them. But then we transition into healthcare workers and what kind of deductions you can get, and then W-2 versus 1099, can you do both, and this and that. So hopefully you find some value here. We're going to have Eddie on for more Latinos in Clinical Research, and just wanted to share this with you. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy. Let me know what you think. Drop it in the comments. Talk to you later.
But what if I had my business name embroidered? Now it's a what do you call it? A
business expense.
Exactly, a business expense, because I'm promoting my business. Okay, so little things like that is going to.
So this is business expense.
It is. It sure is. Yes.
Yeah.
It's promoting your business somehow or the other. Is promoting your business. So right. Yeah, the expense on it, the embroidery, everything that you have to pay, it's deducted. Right?
I think that will be very, very, very helpful if you can explain for the practicing physicians. Okay, these kind of small things, which is not, we are in general, we're not aware about it.
No.
We just take our papers, give it to the accountant, and he start doing this. Okay, and at the end, pay this or you're gonna get refund. And most probably we don't get refund.
No, sure you don't. Yes.
Can I just give a quick tip? This is actually because Dan was mentioning that how to keep the record of the miles. This is actually advertisement for a company. I'm using Intuit QuickBooks. It's an application. You pay for it, but that application keeps the record of every single thing that you use, as long as you put it in the GPS in your phone. So whenever you go, it keeps the record of all the miles that you use.
Wow!
And they give you that every year.
Yeah.
So that's
but also, Monica, can you do us a favor and introduce the new guest?
Oh, yeah, Dan. Dan. It's Amir, I think is his name. Yeah. Yeah.
Dan,
he's also part of the research world.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can't hear you, yeah, but I think except Dan.
Okay. Dan, can you hear me?
No, he can't.
No.
I think
Go ahead.
Yeah. I got invited through Dan and Monica. I'm on the mastermind group. I'm a tech guy in clinical trial. So I have a heavy background in technology development. I own a software development company here in San Diego. So learning about clinical trial, trying to meet people with sharing what I know and learning from all of you. So that's what I'm looking for. And I got invited.
Right.
I've known about on LinkedIn, and happy to be here and see how I can contribute and how I can learn. And definitely looking to learn from all of you here.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Welcome.
Actually, you are in the dark side of the clinical trial where you have your own tech, guys. So we are here to learn from you.
For sure.
In the basement, right? And in the corner desk.
Exactly, but you have everything under your hand.
Yeah, we tend to be not so social, so leave us alone. Leave the problem out.
That's so funny.
You know what's so funny, guys? I am actually I went to school to learn electronics. I'm actually an electronics engineer.
Oh.
And I always wanted to get into biomed. I was just fascinated. Biomed, part of electronics, electronics with medical with the physical body. That was just
That's
fascinating
me.
me because the body is electrical, and this is fascinating to me. But yes,
Oh,
Eddie, you were mentioning about the expenses for the offices. Expenses for the offices include everything, or there is certain things that for like if you have a party for the office, is it like tax deductible for the office for, especially in the holidays, for the Christmas, for the
absolutely, absolutely. Anytime, as a matter of fact, if you and one of your workers go out to lunch, you could deduct that. Okay. So as long as it's more than one person going out to eat, you can deduct it as long as it's business involved. So anything
Eddie, I
that's
had
not
a,
business involved. I'm sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry. I had a question. So I guess this is more for, the viewers that are probably just complete beginners or physicians that are already starting but barely beginning, that are kind of skeptical of possibly, the margin of profit over time for actually going to accountant as opposed to the loss, depending on how they look at it, from putting up money at first to have an accountant. What would you say is the benefit over a certain period of time from going to an accountant as opposed to like paying up front? You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm asking the question right. Let me know if I'm not.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand. Are you asking what the benefit is of
Okay.
going to an accountant?
No, not necessarily the benefits. So obviously there's great benefits, but for those that are barely starting, right? I think kind of the issue what might be is that you're already putting a bunch of expenses into the business, right? And so going to an accountant is also some more expense. And so you have some of those physicians, and I know a few actually, that try to kind of go off a little skimp on the beginning so that they can save money and put it towards the business. What would be your advice to them right now if they're watching,
Oh,
about making sure that they don't skimp out on that, because in the long run it's actually much more beneficial as opposed to
Good
trying
question.
to just save a few bucks.
right. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. I mean, well, when it comes down to it, is this, guys. I mean, um, yeah, definitely everyone wants to save money, right? But see,
Mhm.
the way I see it is, I'd rather go to, for instance, I'd rather go to a good mechanic that I know is going to charge me a little bit more than go
Mhm.
to I don't know what kind of mechanic just out in the streets and my car break down again. Same thing with
Yeah.
taxes, guys. The expert's there to look at everything. If you have a tax preparer or an accountant that is willing to sit down with you and take
Mhm.
maybe an hour with you just when you first start with them to talk to you, find out exactly what you do, what kind of expenses you have, that is the person you need to talk to. I mean, you don't want to go to somebody and just say, okay, give me your paperwork, I do everything, and here you go, this is what you owe. They really didn't help you.
Mhm.
When they communicate with you, when they know what you're all about, that's the person you want to talk to. Okay. So yes, it might be a little bit more expensive, but think of the savings in taxes that you're going to have. Okay.
For
So
sure.
that's the only thing I could say. I mean, yeah, everybody wants to save money, but you actually, get what you paid for at the end, you know? So,
Exactly.
Can
right,
you
right.
And
talk
you
about? Sorry, Ashley, go ahead.
no, 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 you're
Ashley,
fine
you've
for
got businesses to build. You got to ask questions.
And is there, for instance, in the sense of, if they also want to utilize their corporation, their LLC to go about also investing on the side through the company, is there like leeways to do that as well?
Okay. When we're talking about investments, are we talking about investing into other, mm, I don't know, what is it exactly?
Like, so I guess if you have a company and you have a certain portion of profits in their company that's, you're putting aside to reinvest for the company itself. I mean, I don't know personally how exactly what you could invest in. So I guess that's my question. Are
Right.
there routes of investment to invest through the company through the profits that are
Oh,
being made?
into your own company, yes, it's good.
Mhm.
It's always considered an expense. So that's going to lower the amount that you actually make. Because see, in a company, anytime that you earn money, you know, at the end of the year, you get what they call a K1. What a
Mhm.
K1 is, it tells you this is how much revenue the company made. And
Mhm.
who's the owner of this company? Ashley, you're the owner, so you have to claim this money. Okay. And of course, we want to get as much money as we can, but the money's in the business, right? So might as well invest that money back into your business, take less income, put more money into investment, right? And that way you don't have to pay that much in taxes because it does come to your personal taxes at the end. Okay.
Okay.
So I hope that answered the question, Ashley.
Yes.
Answer?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Eddie, all the time we hear about these companies like LLC, SCorp, SCorp. So can you give us like I know it's a big subject to talk about, but just like headlines about each type?
Okay, well, an LLC really is just a limited liability company. All it really does is it separates your personal belongings to, now it's considered an entity. An LLC is an entity. Basically, what it comes down to it is, let me give you a quick example. I have my business right now, right? Eddie Dorado business, and that's it. So if somebody tries to sue me, they're going to sue me personally and take everything I own, my house, my cars, everything. Now, I become an LLC. It's Eddie Dorado, but my company is this LLC. Okay, Dorado Finances, LLC. Okay, now if they're going to sue, they're going to sue the company, and they're only going to take whatever the company owns. My house, my car, my property doesn't get touched. Problem with that LLC is that I still have to claim it into my taxes, and I have to pay self-employment tax through the LLC and pay regular taxes. That's the LLC. S corporation, a little bit different, to where same thing, same concept. It's a separate entity, right? But now you're not paying self-employment tax, which is 15% of the revenue that it makes. Now you only pay regular taxes on that revenue. So you actually save yourself 15% in taxes off of that. Okay. And of course you do get paid W-2 income off of that, which again is your income. C Corp, the way that it works is you actually get double taxed on that. You get taxed on the business, and you actually have to pay federal taxes on it, on the company. And it's just a little bit more complicated. Honestly, it just gets complicated on a C Corp.
If I'm just starting a business, which one you recommend for me to be, LLC or C Corp? Of course not. I mean S Corp, but of course not C Corp.
Right. Yeah. C Corp are really designated more for bigger companies, huge companies. Okay. The S Corp is really for anyone that's making above $100,000. I'd say about 130, 150, up in that range. Then you want to do an S Corp. Before that, just a regular LLC would work fine. The reason I say that is because there's a gap in there that you're really not saving a lot with the S Corp. If you're not making up there in the 100,000s at the beginning, you're not really saving, because you have to pay the state $800. You have to pay more for those taxes. You pay over $1,000 for those type of taxes. So it really doesn't help you much. Okay.
So the cost for initiating any of these company will be really, LLC will be the cheaper than the S Corp.
If you're making under 100,000, yes. Yes.
Thank you, Eddie.
So how's the S Corp like? Because there's the two way, right? There's a one way that the owners can have W-2, and then you get paid through a salary.
Yes.
And then overall, whatever, let's say that's a profit of the company end of the year. How does that get distributed, or how does that get taxed? Is that only being taxed? Like it's coming to the owner eventually, right? And how is that going to work out?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we're talking about in S Corp right there. So you get paid a W-2 as your income, right? And that right there, you use that because you're going to pay taxes anyways. So the W-2 helps you pay federal taxes throughout the year, okay? Because they're withholding taxes. Now, the revenue from the business, that's at the end. Once you do your corporate taxes, they give you a personal K-1. And that's where you show the income that goes to you. And of course, when there's multiple owners of the business, everyone gets a K1, and of course, you share in that income.
And that's not taxed with self-employment tax, right? Because I hate paying self-employment
No,
tax.
no. When it comes to the K1, you don't pay self-employment tax. That's why an SCorp is a lot better than just an LLC. Okay.
Oh, because on a SCorp, you have to put yourself on a payroll, right? And pay yourself a fair salary.
Yes, and
Yeah.
you're already paying the self-employment tax there through the
I
double.
gotcha.
Fair salary is there? Like, how do you note that? I mean, I could be paying myself way under the market value, right? Just to kind of
Well, yeah, that's in the gray area. You know, at the beginning it would be fine. Yeah, right.
I've seen online. Somebody asked it.
IRS is looking for
Those
somebody.
questions down there. Yes, please don't cheat the government. But no, there's always a loophole. No, I'm just playing.
We're just doing what our president tell us to do.
That's right.
That's
On the best side.
That's all I'm going to say. Next.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning, you when you first start, obviously, you know, you pay yourself very little, and that's understandable with the IRS. The first couple of years, you pay yourself very little. I mean, it is what it is, and they understand that.
You know what? I got so I my accountant and I had strategies over the years because we're always starting a new business. So like you said, you know, when you start a new business, first year, maybe 2 year, 3 year, it's not profit. So you're deducting a loss, even though you're benefiting from that business. And so you're offsetting your profits from a more profitable business. But he told me after a certain point, it becomes a hobby if it's not profitable. So what's the rule? Is it 3 years and then you have to have 1 year of profit and then you can do 3 more years of a loss? Or what's the rule for this?
Again, it's all in the gray area there, but after the third year, and don't have too many expenses, up to 5 years. You can have up to 5 years where you're not in the green, you know, but every year they want to see a little bit of growth. After the fifth year, they say, you know what, this is a hobby. They're going to go back all those 5 years and say, we're going to take away all those credits.
Wow.
And charge you taxes as a hobby.
Guys,
So,
don't
yeah,
try this at home. Don't try this at home.
And how about that works also for the 1099?
The 10, I'm sorry, what's the question, Monica?
So that also applies for people that are 1099, like for example, that show expense more. I mean, that the expenses are more than the actual gain.
Right. So as 1099, you're considered self-employed, right? A contractor per se, right? So I mean, excuse me, sorry.
I think it's the IRS.
Well, yes, 1099. Again, I would talk to your accountant because it all depends. If it's the first year you starting as 1099, because you're going to have more losses. But if that's your business, being 1099, again, same difference. A hobby after 3 to 5 years. Okay, but yes, you could have expenses that can offset your actual income, and that's very helpful for a lot of people. You know.
Yeah, isn't that like? I mean, that's like one of the strategies where, like, from what I've heard, I'm no expert, but you know, that's how you offset profits, especially when you have businesses that are so similar, but they're different companies. So you get into the, you know, sharing assets and things like that. It gets dangerous when there's something called piercing the corporate veil. So guys gotta be careful. Don't try this at home. Only try it with experienced people like Eddie Dorado on your side.
Yeah, right. That's absolutely right. Yeah, you always have to be super careful because I mean, the IRS could come back to you and take a look at 10 years back as well.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Eddie, do you offer your services virtually?
you know what? As of this past year, I am. Right? Yeah, we had to innovate. You know, everything that has to do with the taxes and financial services. I do everything through Zoom now. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got a question from someone who couldn't be here. For Latinos in clinical research. So I don't know if you this may not I won't hold it against you because we didn't give you this question earlier and it's not exactly in your wheelhouse, but uh do you know anything about specific grants, loans for Hispanic businesses, and what you know about certifying as a minority owned business?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not too versed on that. I mean, me myself, I had to, do a lot of research to get those type of loans. Right now, the SBA loans, because
Mhm.
all the small businesses were affected.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, yeah, it's hit and miss with those, especially now. Bigger companies got the bigger loans. Ain't that crazy? And those little people got very little. But yeah, I'm sorry, I really don't have any information on that as of right now. You know.
That could be another topic for another podcast.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes, that would be.
if you know someone out there who knows, or maybe Monica,
Yeah.
Judy, Ashley, and myself will have to figure this out.
Right.
For
Right.
sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And
I'll plug into that one.
yeah, we all
Yeah.
need
I
to.
think under you can find these under the SBA, Small Business Administration, where they I think with the COVID time they offered a lot of assistance for small businesses.
Oh yeah, we got a several
Mhm.
PPP and
Yeah,
the other EIDL. I remember. Seems like so long ago now. This was like
Yeah.
I know,
pretty
but,
soon.
but
You
I
gotta
think
pay
under
those
their
back.
website, yeah, under their website there is a lot of instruction about these things.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
about the grants as well.
Yeah,
Look in your city, in your county, and just look up for grants. Because I know Lowe's was giving about $2,000 grant. Um, I don't remember. A few other places were giving grants. A few other businesses, big businesses, were giving grants. A little bit of
Yeah.
every thousand helps, right?
And I think right now, especially because one, it's, minorities, and then two, clinical research in itself, it's booming. That's like the hot topic for almost everything now. So I think that there should be tons of opportunities, just a matter of us finding it. So I
now,
think definitely we can go look online.
yeah, exactly. Now, Eddie, there's two kind of people. I think there's the employees and there's the business owners or self-employed.
Right.
So as far as employee, just W-2, there's nothing really you can deduct other because it's already all taken out, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing.
unfortunately,
There's nothing for you if you're
yes.
W-2.
Right. As of 2017, when they changed the tax code, part of the code that was changed was the unreimbursed employee expenses. When in the past, if you were W-2 worker and you had expenses for work, you were able to deduct it on your Schedule A, okay, which is itemized deductions. So
Mhm.
as of 2017, they took that out, and you can still deduct it, but offer you state taxes. So I mean, if you're still W-2 employee and you don't get reimbursed for expenses from work, at least in the state it'll help you, okay, but not on
Okay.
the federal taxes.
Now, could these employees, these W-2 employees, we have a lot that watch, some of
Mhm.
them doctors, right? I'm telling you, doctor no different than somebody. So, no offense, Doctor Al, you're not like these doctors, but you're a business person. But doctors are just like anyone else. You're gonna be W-2. Some of them just work for a hospital, um, and
Contract.
they build. They can open a business on the side, right?
Right,
There's no laws
absolutely.
against this.
No
So
laws. As a matter of fact, uh, yeah, the 9 to 5 should be there just to pay your bills. What you do outside of 5 o'clock, after 5 o'clock, is going to make you successful, even more successful.
Yeah,
wow, you
Right?
hear that, Ashley?
100%.
Ashley Margot,
Yeah,
you hearing this?
Wow.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
exactly. Yeah, I deal with a lot of entrepreneurs, and that's some. You, I mean, when you work for somebody else, you're always at the mercy of them. That's why, like I said, at first I was an electronics engineer, but I saw that. Heck, I could only go as far as they let me, you know. I love electronics. I love all that, but now I do it as a hobby. Why? Because I'm a business owner. I control my own time. I control what I do. There is no limit to the income I can make, right? So, yeah, and I mean, it just makes sense because you, as a W-2, we're not telling you quit and become a business owner. No, definitely, it's a step-by-step process. But right now, just starting a business on the side, your side hustle, that's going to help you deduct all those taxes that you owe. Because
Yeah.
obviously, at the beginning, you're going to have a little bit of expense to start it off, like any business.
And here's how much the government trusts you guys that are W-2 employees. They don't trust that you can manage your own money, so they take your taxes every 2 weeks from your check because
Absolutely.
they know they can't trust you with that money. Business
Absolutely.
owner, they can trust you a little bit more. W-2,
Right. You have no choice.
we don't believe you're gonna pay us. We're gonna take it every 2 weeks from your check.
As a matter of fact, if you don't pay 90% of what your taxes are owed, they're going to penalize you
As
at
a
the end.
W-2.
As a W-2. That is correct. Yeah.
So
So,
I guess the lesson is to start a business, even if you are a
Yeah.
W-2. Anything, make it a
absolutely.
hobby, but 3 to 5 years, got to make a profit,
Yes.
or else it's a hobby.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So
So for
I had
all
a
those
question.
doctors out
Yes.
there,
Seriously, yes, they
should
need
be,
to. They
be
need to
part
make.
now of research.
Yes, thank you. Join the
Exactly.
circle, and we will teach you. We will open your eyes to see the world of business like you've never been seen it before. It's a new world.
Absolutely.
This is your
Especially,
W-2 is like this, and then the business is like, you're like awake. You're like not in a cave anymore.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Cave where you see
and it's
shadows, and
scary.
that's reality. That's not reality.
Yeah, Dan, and I mean it's scary because I mean people are so used to going in, clocking in, having a check for sure every week, right? Every 2 weeks, and yeah, becoming an entrepreneur is scary. But you know what's scarier? It's being where you're at.
Exactly.
Being always there. Having someone control you, control what you drive, where you live. What your children are gonna learn. That to me was scary. So I mean, I hope I'm not offending no one by saying all that, but it's just that I want you guys to open your eyes and
We are.
understand
We're.
that yeah, I mean,
Don't be offended.
it is uncomfortable. It is
Yeah.
uncomfortable, super uncomfortable. But you know what? It's well worth it. Definitely
And
worth it.
doctors are the ones get taxed the most.
They
The
do.
high income. I mean, again, Dr. Alice, not the example because he's an entrepreneur. This guy has so many businesses, it's unreal. Dr. Al, we can do a whole podcast on all his stuff he does. But I'm talking about your regular doctor that comes out of a medical school with like $400,000 in debt, and then becomes an employee of a hospital. Okay,
Right.
like not only look how far behind they are already, right? And now they're just getting taxed, and the higher income, the more tax you get, and they don't have enough. The thing with doctors is they have to this lifestyle to live up to, so they have to buy the latest car. And so
Mm,
if you don't have a business, and clinical research is a great business for this, if you don't have a business, you're not going to have opportunity to create like higher income that you can offset and then start investing it, for
Exactly.
capital assets appreciation. So doctors are like, unfortunately, like the biggest victims in all this, the ones that are W-2 employees
right.
and fresh out of med school. And the days of the entrepreneurial physician is coming to an end. I mean, all these people coming out of med school, Kaiser gives them $300,000 to start, and they don't want to see anything about any business. I want to work for Kaiser for the rest of my life, pay off my student loans, and 300,000 is great. But by the time they get taxed, they get 150, and then they buy the new BMW every year.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
then they lose their skill set on top of that. That makes them the ability to be able to go on their own and actually create
Right.
their own.
I think for physician or non-physician, it's up to the person himself to be entrepreneur or not. Okay,
Mhm.
I think any physician he choose to go to work for Kaiser, work for any company, or work for himself. But always the hard way is to work for yourself and start to establish from zero. As Ashley doing, she started from zero, and it's not easy to go even in research, not in
Yeah.
medicine,
Actually,
even in research.
scrappy. Ashley's scrappy.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So it's always like depends on the person, on the individual personality, what he wants to do. If he's a fighter, he's ambitious, he wants to go for more stuff. I think that's his choice,
Oh,
but it's not going to be easy.
no,
Mhm.
it's not. No, it's not. And obviously, I mean, at the end of the game, what you want to do is be able to retire comfortably, right? I mean, that's why they think that having a job, having something secure, having their 401k is going to grant them something comfortably, right? Uh,
Mhm.
but obviously, we want to be more than comfortable, right? So, I mean, having a business is also, I mean, instead of having a 401k where you could only put 19,000 a year, you could have put up to 25,000 into a retirement account for yourself,
Hmm.
Yeah.
right? So there's so many benefits.
For the SEP IRA, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think something that needs to be said is also that even if you're coming straight out of school or you're coming into this new business or trying to get into your business, you need to understand too that you're also adapting. So even as you are becoming profitable, you are adapting to that profit. So that's, I think, why it's also important to make your own business because you constantly allowing the room for expansion and you kind of control that expansion, right? Depending on how much you work or how innovative you want to be. And as opposed to a job or W-2, there's kind of like a blockage and there's somebody there determining how far and how fast you move forward. And I think that that in itself is very limiting.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Very good point, Ashley.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ashley needs to
that's
be a
true.
regular in Clinical Scoop. I think Chris has been replaced.
Okay, I vote for
Okay.
that.
I welcome it. I welcome it. I'd love to be a part of it.
Well, we're gonna rebrand it the Circle, so it'll be perfect timing. And the
Awesome.
Circle is the mothership of Latinos in clinical research. So yeah, Dr. Al, we got a lot of exciting stuff, and actually Ashley too. We got to tell you guys off the air. So anything else you guys want to ask Eddie? Anything else? Taxes?
Thank you very much, Eddie. It was very
Yes,
helpful. You
Yeah,
Absolutely.
joining
sure.
thank
us
you,
and
thank you,
explaining all these
Eddie.
things.
And I think we should let Eddie introduce his business real quick so that we can make sure everybody knows how to reach him if he's doing stuff virtually now.
Yes, everybody. We're gonna put links
Exactly.
underneath to the websites and to the phone number for Eddie or the email, whatever Eddie prefers.
Yeah, definitely. I'll give you guys my phone number. And actually, I used to be with a Liberty Tax Service, but I gave up that franchise because, again, it was just limiting me, right? So I'm just on my own doing my taxes. It's going to be Dorado Taxes, but my LLC is going to be Crusade Financial because we're on a crusade to help families be on have financial freedom. We want to teach them how to protect their income, have a great retirement, send their children to college. I want to teach families how to be financially free, how to save and make money.
Actually, I had a question. Thank you, Eddie. Since
Yes.
this is for Latinos in clinical research, a good amount of your clientele are Latino, right? Hispanic.
Yes,
What are you
absolutely.
noticing from your clients? Like, are they receptive of your ideas? Are they a little more worried to get started? Because we have a lot watching Latinos in clinical research. I probably bet you 80% of them are W-2. And after hearing this, maybe they take their blinders off a little. Don't quit your job. I'm not taking blame if you quit your job, but don't quit your job. But maybe time to think about how to become an LLC as well and how to add another revenue stream to what you're already doing. So what are your experiences with the Latinos in this case?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been taught as Latinos that you go find a good job and you stay there, right?
Yeah.
But with all the information that's out there, with the opportunities that are there, I mean, it's just a matter of changing this is what holds you back. You
Mhm.
can't just listen to the old school. Everything's evolving. Look, we're in Zoom. We're doing meetings through Zoom. This is where we're going. If we don't grow as a person, if we don't learn new things and see that there's better ways out there, better opportunities, what are we teaching our kids? we're teaching them to be compliant, to
Yeah.
be, comfortable where they're at. I don't want my children to be compliant. I want them to be way better than me,
Mhm.
And unfortunately, Hispanics are the hardest people, but that's why I'm on a crusade. I'm on a crusade to help my people. I'm on a crusade to educate them. Right?
We gotta have you back on, Eddie.
Awesome.
When we do our Latinos in Research Zoom call, we have like 50 people. We're supposed to have hundreds of people on, but we got like 50 last time, 25 to 50. You gotta come on again because we got to instill this in their DNA. Okay, we can't have
Exactly.
Most definitely.
all this victim being. You're in control of your destiny.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean,
And I think it's,
oh,
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to say, and part of your financial plan has to have some type of income protection, has to have looking at the future, having your retirement plan set, not just saving money on taxes, because taxes will increase, decrease, doesn't matter. It's not how much you make, it's how much you keep that's going to make you successful. Right. So hopefully we could teach that to our people. Okay.
Awesome.
Exactly as Monica told us, you're motivator.
Yes, he is.
Yes, like the
Super
way you
awesome.
talk and everything, like just go ahead and do what you need to do, guys, to be successful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very good.
Will be part of
Thank
our
you, Eddie.
organization. So it's definitely make it a point to tell our members to look you up, consider going with your business if they want some more financial advice.
Awesome. I
Sure.
really appreciate that. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve, guys.
Awesome.
So
Thank you, Eddie. We got to have you back on for sure.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Al, Monica, Ashley. Welcome. Welcome aboard. You are now going to be on these calls
Yes.
Abby,
whenever you can.
and Abby was here too.
Add
That's awesome.
add her to the text messaging.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's add her.
Let's do
Let's
it.
add her to the group as well.
Let's